The GMODIST. More GMODISM.
I'm Eric and you're watching GMODIST Extra channel. A lot of people will have you believe a lot of nonsense when it comes to your OBS settings for best performance. And the reason because people tell a lot of disinformation about this, I think, is that people apply desktop tips to laptops. And it's just not the same thing, because in laptops we generally have a card, a little ace in the arm that we should utilize to not get lag when we are doing this. So basically we're going to go through those settings and what to do and what not to do. You're probably aware that the GPU in your laptop may have the same name as a GPU that's used for desktop, but the laptop variant is always much weaker. If not, well, I guess I'm the bringer of the bad news. But as you can see here, for example, the performance difference is really big. So a desktop GPU that you paid a lot of money for is much better than a laptop GPU you paid the same amount of money for. It's basically, if you have a desktop GPU, you can compare it to like 3 or 5 years difference in variance. So like if you have a desktop GPU that's 5 years old, perhaps it's about as good as a new laptop GPU. And if you have a new laptop GPU, you can expect it to be as good as like a 3-year-old desktop GPU. Sadly, but that's the case. However, as said, inside the laptop, there is a little smart trick. The laptop kind of has 2 graphics cards that are both used. Inside your AMD or Intel CPU that's built into your computer, that's like the processor, there is something called integrated graphics. And basically, nowadays, basically all processors have a little tiny chip on it that serves as a basic graphics card. So for example, your work laptop only has integrated graphics and it works fine. It's also very energy efficient. So for gaming laptops, the integrated CPU, it's the integrated GPU inside the CPU, to be correct, is used when you want to save power. So for background applications, for some other like basic level things. And if you are running on battery power, and if you are low battery power, it usually automatically switches to only use the integrated graphics. And a lot of tutorialists will have you disable the integrated graphics in your laptop. But you know what? That's not a good idea, because that is a chip. It's an extra graphics card. Yes, it's a bad graphics card. But the thing is, you can utilize that and the GPU, your dedicated, your discrete graphics card at the same time. So when you're disabling the integrated graphics in your laptop, you're basically just, you know, throwing away some of that performance you paid for. And the thing is, if you disable it, nothing will run at the integrated graphics card. And it can be a quick fix if you don't really know what you're doing and you are having performance issues. And, you know, I have tutorials about how to fix this. So watch that if you want to switch from integrated to dedicated graphics card. Check that. All right, so maybe I explained the basics to you now. Let's get into OBS settings and not spill any more time. All right, so go down to settings. Inside of here, you just go down to output here. So you have your recording, and so here we have some screenshots of these settings because of course I can change them while recording from the same thing. Anyways, inside here, output and streaming, you can see we have the different options here. Here you can see NVIDIA NVENC, and this is what most people will recommend you to use. And it's super good if you have a desktop GPU or whatever. But basically, it's a really smart thing that encodes your video feed using your like dedicated graphics card, the NVIDIA one. If you have an AMD card, it's called AMD something instead. But that option will limit your FPS and performance, because when we're gaming on a laptop, the GPU is usually the bottleneck and we can't really take from that bottleneck. A lot of laptops have pretty good CPUs, however, processors. So that's where we want to put the energy. And you know, for desktop GPU, it's a different things. But for laptop, NVIDIA NVENC will most likely give you a big performance hit. And, you know, I believed all the people telling me differently before, and then I had issues for some time, so I had to make my own research and realize why was my stream and recording lagging, and this was the reason. To be able to access these settings, however, you can't use any recording format. I have a recommendation. I think you should use the fragmented MP4 or the hybrid MP4. The hybrid MP4 I personally use. I think it's better, but it's in beta. If you can't use that for some reason, use the fragmented MP4. They're both very good. But the hybrid one has some extra option. It's the most modern one, so maybe use that. Upon selecting this, you can see we have some different options. AOM AV1, we have SVT AV1, and these are very new formats, so they are very good, the AV1. But there are some platform and software limitations, so it's not certain that you can use it in your editing software or however you do. In any case, we're going to go through the streaming stuff later as well, of course. But here you can see everything that is called NVENC or similar or something with AMD, you want to stay away from if you're having a gaming laptop. Here, however, we got QuickSync. QuickSync is actually the integrated graphics card, the thing in the CPU. So use QuickSync if available. H.264 is most compatible, and HEVC is a little bit sharper, a little bit better, a little less performance hitting, but not a big difference. H.264 is a good option if you want to have a no-brainer and make it work basically everywhere. But QuickSync is what you want to use. If you have an AMD processor, it's probably called something different. I'm not sure. I haven't had an AMD processor for several years now. If you don't have any option that is from your integrated GPU, that's like QuickSync, you want to stick to X264. This is the processor, the CPU raw power, and it's not optimal. You will get a performance hit, of course, but it's going to be from your CPU, not your GPU. And this is a much better option because gaming laptop CPUs are pretty darn good, actually. They're pretty strong. So putting that performance on the CPU in this case is better, especially if it's gameplay you're recording or streaming. And again, for desktops, it's usually the other way around. For that, the dedicated graphics card are just so much better that, you know, NVENC is pretty good. That's why people recommend it. But laptops, again, different thing. If you just want to have some simple solution, here are my settings. I got a hybrid MP4, QuickSync, HEVC. Like this, I got a rate control to CQP with a setting of 16. I got it on faster, TU6. I don't know what TU stands for. Actually, I can make a dedicated tutorial on what all these settings means because I did research before and then I just used this because it worked, so I don't have everything in my head right now. But if you want a tutorial, give me a comment. And if you go to streaming, due to some platform limitations, I set it to QuickSync H.264 instead. Works basically the same. Basically same settings down here. It works for my streaming service. And perhaps you're using the simple settings? Well, no shame on that. They're pretty good too. So if your output is simple, the QuickSync is called here QSV. So if you've seen this drop-down menu here, you got software X264. Software basically means the CPU. Hardware, that's the QSV, that's the QuickSync part, that's the integrated graphics part of your CPU. This is the option you can choose to get no performance impact because the integrated graphics card is usually not used for anything when you have a discrete graphics card. And the last option here, hardware, NVENC, well, that's obviously your NVIDIA card, so you want to stay away from that, and it's called something different if you have an option for AMD there. But that's the thing you're gonna stay away from. So QSV if you got it, or maybe it's called something different for AMD. Well, if we swap here to this thing, you can see here down under at recording, you have the same options. Hardware QSV, this is the Intel QuickSync, definitely good idea. NVENC stay away from. If you don't have QuickSync or the similar AMD thing, well, you need to stick to software, CPU, raw power. But if you just want to be a little bit lazy, you can try and copy my settings from advanced here and see if they work for you too. Okay, secret tip, but just between me and you. If you do that, you can upload them directly to YouTube. No post-processing required. It's a secret. Well, I hope that shed some light on the situation, and if you enjoyed this video, please do leave it a like. And do subscribe so you can catch our future tutorial. I don't usually put a lot of tutorials on the Gmodist channel, but that might change. On the Gmodism channel, my main channel, you can find my channels up there. We got the main channel, the Gmodism. We got the secondary, this little extra channel, GMODIST here. And we got the Relaxism channel with some relaxing ASMR content. So check out my other channels. Otherwise, see you on Twitch. We got Discord and stuff. I'll see you in future videos, I hope. In any case, this is your host, Eric, of the Gmodism Empire, or signing out.